since you and I both live in a place where there's such, distinct seasons, it's got to be, for me, this is my favorite time of the year when you start to see stuff growing again and the birds are
For
back
sure.
and all that kind of stuff. I absolutely love it.
Well, it's also a good reminder for our business, no
Yeah,
doubt, that what needs to happen to set the pace and momentum and set actions that are gonna bring results.
it always kind of, it makes me sweat a little because it's already the fourth month,
That's
like when
right.
you think about it, it's like, holy crap, like if you
That's right.
were sleepy through the winter at all, boy, this is the time to roll up your sleeves for sure.
Yeah,
So,
and there's so much we can do. So with the craziness in the market right now, with all the from Trump and geopolitics to little things and big things, like there's just so much noise, and this is the time to really focus in
mhm,
and put some good work. None of us can change the weather.
right.
None of us can tell politicians what to do. They'll do what they do. But
Hmm.
what we can do is create an environment for our success.
Absolutely.
Although it
Absolutely.
seems difficult at times, but we can.
I couldn't agree more. I think what's interesting, we always say this and, perhaps I've said this before, but, in previous years, we were in an environment where a lot of deals for a lot of agents were easier and gifted to a degree, This is now the shift into a skills market from that previous market. So
No doubt about that.
yeah, there's never been a more sort of critical time, I think, for this type um, of skills exchange, but also this level of support. So being able to help people and answer questions and all that good stuff. So yeah, no, for me, it's a big
Well,
deal.
people who are interested in succeeding do
Yeah,
more.
yeah,
And being in a group like this very accountability call right now, there's a reason somebody is logging on and sacrificing their time to watch us chat about what.
right,
It has to be meaningful. And
for
today,
sure.
for example, we're speaking about warm outreach and how to generate referrals. That's doing a deal straight out of
Hmm.
your existing tools, your existing treasure, which is your database. So
Hmm.
how do we do that? That's what
Yeah.
we'll be talking about today. But going back to the point, anybody who's on this call or is coming to this call or is watching this after the fact
Hmm.
is investing time in understanding how to sharpen their knives better, how to apply what they have better, and share it with others. That's the point of this exercise.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. We've been talking to a lot of organizational leaders at various levels. So this could be a broker who's leading a team, or it could be an association executive or whatever. And everybody is really struggling with the fact that most of their people are unsupported out in the world. There isn't this ability to have a community, first of all, but also coaching to go with it. These are real nuggets every week. I mean, the stuff that you talk about is so valuable, and I mean, it's half an hour for the most part, maybe 40 minutes of somebody's day or week. I really think it's a pretty valuable. I might be a little bit, obsessed with it.
Biased?
That's okay, I think, I should be. But yeah,
Well,
anyway,
let's get it. Let's get
let's
started.
let's go. Yeah.
First and foremost, anybody in the chat, please pipe in as to how your week went, how your weekend went, and where you're at as far as did you get your calls done? Have you been able to get some structure surrounding your day? And were you able to get organized yesterday to set the pace for the week?
Yep.
If you could put that in the chat, that would be great. Sabina, tell me,
Mhm.
where do you want to get started with this growth lever, the referral machine?
Before we jump into that, the only thing I
Sure.
want to remind everybody is the resources that are available to them. And this is something I'll mention weekly just to make sure everybody knows what they have access to and where to find things. So the first is, to your point, or just your previous question, if everybody isn't using their tracker yet, the link is coming to you every week in your emails. It's also in the resource section of the community, but it's also pinned underneath the replay every week. So there's lots of good stuff, guys. Our team also just put the link into the chat, so you guys always have access to everything. So that's the number one resource always every week. please make sure you're using it. And we really, at some point in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be talking to you about feedback too, because we've had it up for a couple of weeks now. So we'll see how everybody enjoys using it.
That's great.
The other thing I want to let everybody know about, there's a workshop coming up at the end of the month. It's on April 30th. It is a live virtual boot camp, actually. It's 3 hours. We're doing the commercial letter of intent, which is a beginner's roadmap to commercial. I will say to everybody, this is really, I think, better suited to our US audience than our Canadian audience. So just to be safe, everybody would learn. This is about how to get into doing commercial deals, but a lot of the information will be on the US side. So just so everybody knows, this is Ginger Unger, who is a 2.5, 3 decade long commercial agent. Really, really good one. And she's a phenomenal instructor. So you'll see a link to that too. And then the last two quickies are 2 weeks ago, we did a simple path to multiple income stream session. If you guys haven't gone in and looked at the replay, please, please do that. It was a really, really solid 50-minute class. Really recommend it. It'll give you some great ideas about adding more income streams to your business. And then the last thing is there's a promo we're going to send you guys for it's a phenomenal course. It's how to add $100,000 to your pipeline using your database. So we recommend you jump on that. Yeah. So that's that. And then the last one is the growth levers explained. We've got a handout for that too in 4 parts. We're on part number 1 still today, which is warm outreach. And I think let's jump right into how to turn your business from maybe accidental referrals to a referral engine. I think that's kind of our goal here, right?
That is definitely the goal here. So what I want to start here with, because we had a chat about this last week, and just to put everybody on an even playing field. The number one question that agents ask, my agents on my team, every time we speak at a conference or event, how do you ask for referrals? What are the words that I use to ask for referrals? And the truth of the matter is simple. If you want to ask for a referral, you just ask for a referral. Hi, Sabina. I'm looking to take on 3 new clients this month. Is there anybody that you know that I could potentially work with? Now, asking that question is not easy for everyone. People feel very awkward. They feel, I'm going to sound like I'm begging for business or I'm desperate or all these crazy things. If you don't want to sound desperate, the answer is don't sound desperate. If you don't want to be awkward, don't be awkward. And it takes a level of confidence to accomplish this. It's not as easy as me saying it, because I can feel awkward in any circumstance if I allow myself to be awkward.
Yeah.
But I typically don't allow myself to be awkward, and I don't allow myself to beg for business. What I instead do is I demonstrate value on an ongoing basis. So when we talk about all the other weeks, about socials, about marketing, about this, if you're putting up just sold and just listed, and that's not of value to anyone. That's just you telling people that you're in real estate and you just listed something or just sold something. Something of value is demonstrating how you do your job differently, or why somebody would want to work with someone like you.
Yeah.
It makes asking for a referral so much easier when there's something to talk about. Doing a TikTok dance in front of a listing, to me specifically, is not appropriate for real estate. People do it all the time. People do it every day, and God bless them. But I would never refer somebody to a dancing realtor. I just would not. That's who I am.
Right.
Yes, it can be fun. Yes, it can be entertaining. But you're not an actor. You're a professional that's looking to demonstrate how serious you take the job. So even if you were a dancing TikTok realtor, you need to follow up that message with how you did due diligence to protect your client's money, how you were able to save them $50,000 by a specific negotiation technique. At the end of that video, you can simply say, hey, if you know anyone looking to take advantage of this specific skill set that I have, I would love to hear from you. That's how you do it in a non-awkward way. But you have to stay professional. You have to consistently demonstrate value in order to build a machine of referrals. We're not talking about a single referral. We're talking you to become a referable agent. So there has to be more to it. And these are, if anybody here has any questions as to what I'm explaining, please put in the chat or reach out to us. But
Yeah.
this is kind of where I want to go with it today.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I think everybody always asks for scripts for everything. And I think this is the one time you want to be less scripty. You know, it's meant to be natural and genuine. And to your point, at some point, if you do this well over a period of time, you won't have to even ask anymore. People will simply refer people to you because
And that's just it.
your
That's
message is
just it.
clear. Yeah.
Asking for referrals is, of course, you have to say it. There's no doubt about it. But unless you are referable, you're not going to win in the referral game. So look at your business and identify what you do really well and make sure that the world knows what that is. Let's say you love showing homes. You're a buyer agent. You just love showing homes. Tell the world that. I love to show homes. I love taking out new buyers that have no clue what they want and figuring out how to hone down on identifying. People are confused all day.
Yeah.
There's couples that are looking for a 3-bedroom that they can't afford. Why do you need a 3-bedroom and a spare bedroom? You don't. Get into a home that you can afford. But like, you have to be able to tell the world that you are the type of realtor that will bring clarity to a buyer. That you know how to ask the right questions to, cut the nonsense and really trim down and find exactly what they want. If you're a listing agent, same thing. But you have to show the world and give them a reason to refer you. So if you're a great listing agent and you just love staging, showcase your staging. Look at this staging. If you know anybody who's looking to sell their home, they deserve nothing less than this. That's going to get you referrals. Because when you go to a party and you see your friends and somebody says, oh, it looks like we're going to be selling the home, the first thing you're going to want to do is, you as a human wants to demonstrate your value. You want to say, hey, I know a great realtor. There's a reason people do this. You want to be as valuable to society as I do, or as anybody else. There's a reason we refer the best doctor. We say, hey, this doctor is the worst doctor. Never go to him. This naturopath is amazing. Go to him. Why do you need to share that? Why? Because you want to give value.
Yeah.
So become a referable agent by showcasing what your actions, what your passions, what your business is really all about. And I'm obviously very passionate about this because my phone rings every single day with a deal. There's never a day that I don't get somebody calling me to ask something about selling something.
Yeah.
Every single day.
That tells you right there what everybody should be shooting for sure. So, that leads me to
and I'm not saying this from a pompous stance or this is a 20-year consistent business. But there's never a day. If I were to share my screen with you right now, you're going to see an offer being drafted for $12,700,000 on a commercial property in Toronto.
Right.
Why? Because this is what just came through. It's now going to Power of Sale, and somebody called me and said, hey, I heard it's going to POS, Power of Sale, which is a short sale or whatever the equivalent is in New York. And in this case, they're literally specifically looking for my skill set in negotiating a foreclosure.
Right.
Because there's a process to it. And if you want to save $2.5 million, well, it has to come out of somebody else's end. and they're looking for that skill set, one that I have.
Mhm.
Every single day is an opportunity to showcase our skill set and get referrals as a result.
So for somebody who's a little earlier in their stages and they're not quite as far as you, I'm getting questions in the chat about different things that are for people that are a bit earlier. So let me ask you this question.
Sure.
One of the questions, it seems pretty basic, but there's a reason I'm passing this along. It says, who should I be asking for referrals? Just past clients or more than that? And I think that is just tags on a little bit more deeply to what you've just talked about that. Who is your target for asking for referrals?
Well, going after past clients is obviously an amazing way to go about it, but
Right.
that would be a specific script, meaning that Sabina, it's Simeon Papa Elias. I want to reach out to you as one of my past clients, somebody who trusted me with their home. And I would like to see if there's anybody that you know that I can help in the same way. Right now, I'm taking on 3 new clients for this month. And if you have somebody in mind, that would be amazing for me.
Yeah.
If there's anything you can do to help, that'd be great. And you don't say things like the way you want to position yourself as a professional is, I'm going to be taking on new clients right now.
Right.
But you also have to be able to actually say at some point that right now I'm not taking new clients.
Yeah.
In order to legitimatize what you're saying. I'm not saying fake it and make it up, but if you have 5, 6 clients on the go, say no to someone. And you can say, you can either work with one of my associates that can dedicate the exact amount of time required for you to do this, or just hang tight a couple of weeks so I can wrap up a few of the deals that I have on the go. Because when
Right.
you do that, the amount of respect that you create is unfathomable. You're not saying no to somebody. You're telling them, I respect you so much that I don't want to give you half of me. And that's powerful. That's very
It's
powerful.
it's extremely powerful. I couldn't
I
agree.
hope that answers their question. But
Yeah.
yeah, so past clients is a specific type of outreach.
Mhm.
But generally speaking, like every day, it's kind of what I mentioned. You need to be a referable,
For
showcasing
sure.
your professional standards at all times.
Right. Well, you and I talked about this earlier, and I think this is a good time to ask you this question. This is from me because it's part of the experience that I've had working with agents. This idea that when we have gone to talk to our agents, we've given them a very interesting activity. And the activity is go and talk to people in your sphere and ask them what you do for a living. In other words, see how somebody understands what you do, so that if they are going to refer you to somebody, they know when is a good time to refer you, but also how, what to say.
It's
This,
brilliant because you're reverse engineering the
yeah,
entire thing. And
yeah,
this is where, again, showcasing what you do for everyone to see. If somebody's follows you anywhere, Facebook, Instagram, doesn't matter, LinkedIn, and you showcase regularly what you do, if you were to ask them exactly the question you just said,
yeah,
what is it you think I do for a living? They would be able to tell you precisely what you do for a living. But if you
yeah,
don't, and all you do is say, just listed, just sold, open house, what do you do for a living? Oh, I think he sells houses. Sells houses is not helping someone. Sells
yeah,
houses means your transaction. But if somebody were to ask me, like, what is it Simeon does for a living? They would say he either helps realtors grow their business. He would say he's a commercial agent doing this, that, and the other. He's a due diligence expert or whatever. Because
mhm,
that's what I consistently show.
right,
That's where we need to get.
yeah,
So
yeah,
when you do that exercise, because it's a brilliant exercise, when you reverse engineer what people think you do,
mhm,
that answers everything.
yeah,
So getting the referral, because today is about referrals. If
mhm.
we don't understand the actual game itself, we'll never get there. Whatever script you have is going to land on deaf ears.
Well,
We
and
have
what's
to be able to understand why we're doing it.
For sure. And what's awesome about even just this 10 minutes of conversation, we've given everybody two things that they can do to literally sort of blow up their business to another level just by understanding how to ask for referrals and how to find out if people understand what you do so they can give you referrals, which also, of course, changes perhaps how you're messaging through all of your social channels and all that good stuff. It's all related.
100%.
And this is why we also talk about things like, pick your spot, have a niche. Don't be a jack of all trades agent that has nothing specific to say ever and all that good stuff. I mean, there's reasons why we talk about all this, and everything comes back to this whole idea, right? So I think that's really, really sort of an awesome piece of information. I've got a couple of other quick questions for you, if that's okay.
Of course.
Let's see. Here's a good one that I think we should talk about. And I want to preface this by saying, how do I either incentivize people to give me referrals, or should I? Because we get this question a lot. And second of all, how should I thank people for referrals? Because we have to remember, you have to be careful ethically, legally, and all that good stuff about how we handle these sorts of things. But there's also other reasons for doing this. And I know you can talk to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different schools of thought on incentivizing referrals. Cash typically is the wrong thing to do.
And I
If
don't even know if
people,
it's legal everywhere. So that's the other thing you got to watch.
well, I mean, it can be legal as long as you disclose it, and all these different things that go surrounding what's called bird dog fees and referral fees. Like only a licensed realtor can earn commission.
Yeah.
And you giving a marketing fee and or a finder's fee, it's okay. It's no different than a professional referral, but that doesn't make you referable. That makes the people that are around you thirsty to earn money. It's just, I don't like it. I never
Right.
have liked it. I don't pay anyone anything unless they're a professional realtor that gave me a referral because, I'm in Toronto, you're in New York, my
Right.
client's coming, what have you. Um, that's a different story. That's real.
Mm-hmm.
Rewarding clients for a referral is massive. I do it every single time, and it's typically experiential. I don't like to give gift cards because a gift card is forgotten and means nothing. I either like to send, if it's a couple, I'll send them to the movies or I'll send them for dinner. Like I'm going to give them an experience. I'll book them into a restaurant that they've never been to, something that they will remember.
Yeah.
Me giving them a Home Depot card is not something memorable.
Right.
Sure, it's appreciated, whatever, but that doesn't drive referrals. But like when they reflect back on what they did as a result of something, like I gave him a referral and he sent us to the most beautiful steakhouse. That was a good night. They remember that. You're part of their memory. There's also gifting. Like for example, Cutco is a massive one in the United States and Canada. It's the knives. It's the knives company.
Sure.
I've been working with my rep there for 15 years. Who gets what? Why is a knife something that's memorable? Because it's used every day. And if you think putting, Papa Elias real estate on it is a good idea, it's not. That makes them want to put it in the counter.
Right.
If you put their name on it, it matters. They know where it came from and they will talk about it. You don't need to put your logo on a gift in someone's home.
Right.
Think about how that comes across. Yes, it's normal in real estate because so many realtors are not normal. They think putting their branding on something that's going to be inside my kitchen is a good idea. No, I don't want to look at it. But if you put my name on it and you gift it to me, I want to look at it every day. And I know where it came from.
Right.
And when somebody asks, hey man, where'd you get this knife with your name on it? My realtor gave it to me. That's referable.
Right.
That's appropriate. That is intelligent. Think of how you want to come across. We're in the referral section of the levers. We're not going anywhere. But this is how you reward great behavior. Like
Yeah.
right now, I'm ordering next week 6 carving sets. 6 carving sets that are going to go to my top clients. Why am I giving a carving set and not an everyday knife? Because I want them to pull that out on Christmas, on Thanksgiving, on Easter, on this, on every special occasion when there's 40 people in their home. That's why I'm giving a carving set. Because the next time I call that person, it's going to be Thanksgiving. I'm going to say, Happy Thanksgiving. How did it go? What did you serve? Were you able to use that carving set I got you? Of course we did. It was amazing. I love that for you. That's how you speak to clients. There's your script. You have to be so careful on gifting because it's your money that you're wasting otherwise. I could have given that $300 and got a Home Depot card, or I got a carving set. I could have sent a Home Depot card in the mail, or I hand delivered a carving set.
Yeah.
Who do you think gets the referrals?
I think it's weirdly simple, like when you think about it, right? I mean, I think all of the stuff you're talking about, what I love about it the most is it's very common sense, it's really simple, but it's very rarely executed, which is bizarre, really, when you think about it, right? This is why
It is bizarre.
I actually believe personally that if you follow some of these simple concepts, you can stand out so quickly and improve your business so much, so fast with these tips. It's enormous anyway. I'll put it that way, because let's face it, a lot of people aren't doing what you're talking about.
And it's simple to do, and it's the right thing to do, and it's exactly what you would want others to do for you.
Right.
So if you were, again, like you can say, what would Jesus do? You can say, treat others the way you want to be treated. You can say all the things, but it's really that simple.
Yeah.
Business, the people business, because that's real estate. We're talking about referrals. We're talking about how to get it. And everything that I've told you thus far is as simple as, how else would you want to be treated? When somebody asks you for a referral, what do you want them to say? Give me business? No. It's so simple. You never have to, going back to the Ford script, because I always go back to the Ford script. If you were to just start talking about family, about their occupation, about their recreation, what they like to do, and about their future dreams, anywhere inside the Ford script, referrals come screaming at you. Why? Because you care about their family. You care about their work. You care about what they like to do, and you care about their future. How would somebody not refer you if you're always calling them, following up, making your calls every day, checking in on everyone? Our business of selling homes and real estate is a regular function of one's life. You have to be there to get it. You have to be memorable to stand out, for them to say, oh, no, of course I'm going to give that to Simeon. But if Simeon's not calling and checking in, there will be no business, there will be no referral, let alone how to ask for a referral.
Right.
That's what it's all about, Sabina.
I'm with you. Well, I think other than a couple of small things, I think that's probably where we can end it today with a lot of really good information. I think any more than that, we'll go off into another direction. So I will say to everybody, remember, track your metrics. In your CRM, you want to know who referred somebody to you. So make sure that you're tracking that. And then also track the people that you tag as either potential referrers or people who will give you referrals, or the ones that are active referrers for you, so that you know what you're doing with these folks. So that's really important. That gets out of hand fast when you have a lot of people in your database. So make sure that you're tracking that on a regular basis.
You bet.
And then the only other thing I'll say is for your exercises, if you really want to drive this home this week, a couple of key things you can do for homework. One is the activity we just talked about, where you're interviewing people in your database and you're asking them, what do you do? That's probably more fun than you'd think. Plus, what an awesome way for you to have this conversation in a reverse engineered fashion, as Simeon mentioned. This is a great way to figure out if they might have a referral for you. So go for it. Talk about it from two perspectives.
Have some fun with it, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, really figure out what they know about you and what they don't know about you. I think a lot of people would be happy to tell you that. So give that a shot. And then remember, start thinking about who you can identify in your sphere that you can start talking to about referrals. Think about your outreach blocks in your calendar. Make sure at least one day a week in your 4x4, you're talking about referrals. You're asking people for referrals. You're developing the content that Simeon talked about so that you're posting the right information so people know what you do. And then if you're really feeling timid or uncomfortable or whatever it is, find somebody and start doing some role playing. Practice.
Love it.
Just practice.
Love it.
Yeah. So that's what I would say is sort of the follow-up. We'll see you next Monday. We'll talk more about outreach in general. So
I'm not going to see you next Monday. I'm going to be in Charleston at Unite.
Right. Okay.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. If we're so lucky and we can, get 10 minutes together, that'd be great. But I'll bring everybody up to speed from my travels and exploits to South Carolina the following Monday.
Oh, good.
It's supposed to be a great conference, so I'm excited for it.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's perfect. Okay, perfect. So maybe what I'll do is we'll cover off something else then while you're away. And I'll see if I can get maybe I can get a guest to come in and talk to us about some stuff.
Awesome.
I love it. Well, thanks, Simeon. You have a great week and safe travels, and we'll see you in 2.
My pleasure. See you guys soon.
Take care.